You ever see something roll in so fast you don't even realize you're already inside it? That's what happened tonight. I was halfway through the playlist. Normal night, easy stuff, nothing crazy, and then the power flickered. Not out. Not even like a storm rolling in. Just this weird dimming, like the whole world took a breath and didn't let it out. I looked outside the booth window and, man, it was just white. No warning. No slow creep across the hills. No heads up. From weather alerts, just here. Thick. Heavy. Like a wall. At first I figured, all right, it's just fog. Happens. We live close to the river. Sometimes it gets messy. But then the phones started ringing. First one caller, then two, then a dozen. People talking over each other, freaking out about seeing shapes. Tall ones, moving way too smooth through the mist, said they looked like shadows, except thicker, like you could almost reach out and touch them if you were crazy enough to try. One guy said he watched a telephone pole split right down the middle, clean as paper, but when he ran back 5 minutes later, it wasn't broken anymore. Wasn't even there. Just fog. And then the static started bleeding into the broadcast. At first, I thought maybe it was equipment picking up interference, but it wasn't like normal static. It was sharper. Crackling, like dry leaves underfoot. And every once in a while, I swear I could hear something inside it, like a scraping sound. Something dragging nails along the inside of a wall you didn't know you had. I tried switching channels. Tried boosting the antenna. Nothing worked. The fog wasn't just outside, it was in the signal. I don't know how else to explain it. And the worst part, it's getting thicker, like it's not just floating in, it's pushing. Heavy, deliberate. I keep checking the security cameras around the station, but they're useless now. Just this swirling white nothingness. Every now and then, though, I swear, I catch a flicker, a darker patch moving across the screen. Quick, wrong. And there's this hum. Real low. Real deep. You can almost feel it in your teeth. It's not in the speakers. It's in the floor. In the walls. Like the whole building's vibrating at a frequency it wasn't built to handle. And if I'm being honest, I don't think it's just fog anymore. Something came with it, or maybe something is the fog. If you're out there listening, lock your doors, turn off your lights, and whatever you do, don't answer if you hear knocking. I thought maybe if I just stayed inside, stayed small, the fog would pass. But it's not just sitting out there. It's changing things. You ever walk down your own street and feel like you took a wrong turn somewhere even though you didn't? Like everything's mostly the same, but just a little off? That's what it's like now. I was watching the feed again, flipping between the cameras, and I swear, stuff's showing up that wasn't there before. Weird stuff. A lamppost standing, right outside the parking lot. But we don't have a lamppost there. Never have. I'd know. I've been coming to the station 5 days a week for years. I know every crack in the pavement, every sad little bush along the fence line. But there it was. Tall. Thin. Old. Rusty in a way that said it hadn't been new in decades. And the light didn't shine right. It flickered in and out, but not like a bulb dying. More like it was blinking in a pattern. Morse code, maybe? I don't know. I don't want to know. That's not the only thing. Listeners are calling in, real freaked out now, saying buildings are popping up where there shouldn't be any. Tiny sheds. Twisting staircases that go nowhere. A phone booth in the middle of a field. One guy said he found a door just standing there. No walls, no frame, just a door. Right in the middle of the road. He didn't open it. At least, he said. He didn't. Before the call cut out. Maybe it's a trick. Some kind of hallucination. Fog can mess with your head, right? Plays with your depth perception. Messes with your sense of direction. But this feels different. This feels purposeful. Like the fog's not just hiding the world, It's replacing it. One piece at a time. I keep thinking about that door, just standing there, waiting, like it's patient, like it knows sooner or later someone's going to touch the handle, someone's going to want to know what's on the other side. And then what? What happens when you step through something that wasn't supposed to exist in the first place? You ever think about that? Maybe it's not a doorway at all. Maybe it's a mouth, waiting to swallow whatever's dumb enough to get curious. Anyway, the lampost's still out there. Closer now, I think. Or maybe it's always been that close and I'm just noticing. Either way, I'm not going outside to find out. If you're out there, if you're listening, don't trust what you see, especially the things that look familiar. Because familiarity, that's the bait. That's how it pulls you in. The thing is, it's not just places anymore. It's people. Or at least, what looks like people. About an hour ago, the phones lit up again. Same frantic energy, same panic bleeding through the static. But this time, the callers weren't talking about weird buildings or random doors. They were talking about voices. Voices they recognized, heard from inside the fog. One guy, real shaken, said he heard his brother calling out to him. Kept shouting. From just beyond the tree line behind his house. Same voice, same jokes they used to throw at each other growing up. Same little quirks in how he laughed at his own dumb stories. The problem, his brother's been dead for 5 years. Another woman said she heard her mother humming a lullaby, one she hadn't heard since she was a little girl. Said it floated out of the fog like smoke, soft, sweet, so real. She almost ran outside barefoot. Almost. She caught herself at the last second when she realized her mom had never hummed that lullaby outside, only inside, only at bedtime, never once under the stars. That's the thing about memories. They're tricky, they're soft around the edges, easy to twist if you know where to press. And the fog, it's pressing in all the right places. I started hearing it too, little snatches of conversation, voices I haven't heard in years. Some of them, people I lost a long time ago. Some of them, people who were never even real outside my dreams. You ever dream about someone so vividly, so often, that they feel real? Like they're a part of your life even though you've never met? That's what's coming out of the mist now. Dreams. Memories. Half-forgotten ghosts wearing faces you wish you could see again. I thought I heard my grandfather's voice. Man's. Been gone 2 decades. But there it was, rattling through the vents, telling me to come outside, telling me he was waiting by the old swing set. The one from my childhood home, the one that doesn't even exist anymore. I almost believed it. God. I wanted to believe it, but then the voice slipped. Just a little. Called me by a nickname he never used. Something felt oily about it. Fake. And I realized right then, this fog, whatever it is, it's not just playing games. It's studying us, cataloging every weak spot we've got and pushing on it until something breaks. And once you answer, once you step outside, thinking you'll find some piece of your old life waiting for you, that's it. You're gone. No screaming. No struggle. Just silence. Like you were never here at all. You ever wonder how many people we've already lost without even knowing it? How? Many names are already missing from the back of our minds. Yeah, me too. After that last call, I shut everything down for a minute. Sat in the dark, just listening to my own breathing, trying to figure out if maybe I was already slipping, losing it. Like the fog was some kind of dream I hadn't woken up from, yet. But then the static started, and that snapped me right back. It wasn't normal static either. You know, you listen to this stuff long enough, you can tell when something's just bad wiring or interference from a storm. This wasn't that. This was organized. It pulsed. It repeated. Little bursts of sound, like clicks and hisses stacked together in a pattern, like a heartbeat being played backwards through a broken speaker and buried under it. Words. Not clear, not clean, but they were there. Soft at first, like whispers crawling under your skin, telling stories you didn't ask to hear, telling you secrets about yourself you never knew you'd forgotten. One of them said my name. Full name. Middle name. Same mistake that fake voice outside made, only this time it felt closer. I tried tuning it out, skipping channels, jumping frequencies, but it didn't matter. The words followed. 1 second, it's background noise. The next, it's breathing right behind your ear, telling you where you're weak, where you're cracked. I got a call right after that, from a listener who swore they decoded part of the signal. They said it's instructions, commands, some real simple. Come outside, step into the mist, but some are worse. Bring another, forget, let go. The static isn't just background noise anymore. It's a language, and it's talking directly to the parts of us that don't know better. The parts that want to believe. The parts that think maybe stepping into the fog would feel better than sitting here, scared out of your mind, waiting for whatever's next. It's wearing us down, not with fear, with promises. I can't explain it exactly, but it's like the static offers you this relief. Like if you just listened a little longer, you could finally stop worrying, stop hurting, stop being so damn human all the time. And the scary part? Some of it sounds really, really good. I caught myself leaning into the speaker at one point, just listening. Like the voice buried in there had something important to say if I could just hear it properly. That's how it gets you. One little slip. 1 second of curiosity, and you're gone. Not dragged screaming into the mist. Not torn apart. Just dissolved. Rewritten. Part of the whispering mass on the other side. And you know what's even worse? There's part of me, deep down, that wonders if maybe that's not such a bad thing. After the static started whispering, I knew I couldn't sit still, couldn't just keep pretending the station walls were enough to keep it out. I had this feeling, deep in my gut, like the air itself was getting thicker, like every breath was pulling more of the fog inside me. So I decided to move, just a little. Check the locks, reinforce the doors, anything to stay sharp, to stay moving. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Soft at first, like maybe it was just the old board settling or the heat kicking on. You know, all the excuses you tell yourself when something's wrong but you don't want to admit it yet. But it wasn't inside. It was outside. Pacing. Slow, deliberate. Right along the outer wall of the station. I killed the mic for a second, crept up to the window, real careful not to breathe too loud, and peered through the smallest gap I could manage. Nothing, just white. So thick I couldn't even see the parking lot. But the footsteps kept going, circling, dragging just a little, like whoever, or whatever, it wasn't walking quite right. I thought maybe it was someone from town, somebody lost in the fog looking for shelter. But deep down, I knew better, because the steps didn't sound desperate. They sounded patient, like whoever it was already knew exactly where I was, like they were just waiting for me to come out and meet them halfway. Got another call during it, too. This poor kid, maybe 17, 18 tops, said he was holed up in an old gas station 20 miles west. Said he heard footsteps, too. Said they started last night and hadn't stopped since. He thought it was a rescue team at first. Thought if he waited long enough, someone would bang on the door, call his name, tell him it was safe to come out. But they never did. They just kept circling. Hours. All night. Never rushing. Never knocking. Just pacing. And the thing that finally broke him, he said he noticed the footsteps weren't getting fainter when they walked away. They stayed loud, like the sound itself was stuck to him. Like it didn't matter how far away the thing was, it would always sound close enough to touch. I asked him if he'd seen anything. He hesitated, and then, real quiet, he said, "It doesn't have feet." That's all he said before the line cut out. And now the footsteps outside my station have stopped. But not because they left. I can feel it, something standing out there, waiting, listening. And part of me wonders if, maybe it's waiting for me to make the first move, to open the door, to step into the mist. Maybe that's all it needs. One invitation, one little mistake. You ever get the feeling that you're not locked inside to keep something out, but to keep yourself from letting it in? Yeah, me too. I haven't moved from this chair, not since the footsteps stopped. Feels safer somehow, you know? Like if I just stay here, stay close to the board, the mic, the old battered equipment, maybe I'll stay real too. Maybe the fog can't reach through all the static if I keep the signal messy enough. But I'm starting to wonder if even that's a lie. Because now, it's not just sounds bleeding through, it's shapes. Yeah, I know how crazy that sounds. I caught it by accident the first time. Was flipping between frequencies, trying to find anything clean, and for a second, just a split second, I saw something move across the studio monitor. A shadow. Fast. Thin. Not like a glitch. More like something passing between me and the tower without bothering to walk through the space in between. Thought it was just my nerves. Just a trick of the bad reception. But then it happened again. And again. Listeners started calling in about it too. Not just hearing things anymore. Seeing them. One woman said she was watching the emergency broadcast ticker on her old TV, just waiting for any kind of update. And in the static between messages, she saw a hand press against the inside of the glass. Flat. Wide-fingered, and way too big to be human. She turned the TV off after that. But she swore when she looked at the blank screen, the reflection wasn't hers anymore. Another guy said he caught his reflection grinning at him when he wasn't smiling, said it tilted its head the wrong way, just a few degrees too far, just enough to make his stomach flip. It's in the static, it's in the reflections, and the weird part is, it's almost beautiful. When I stare at the fuzz long enough, when I let my eyes unfocus just a little, the shapes start to make sense. Patterns, spirals, movements that feel like they should mean something. It's tempting. God, it's so tempting. To just watch. To stop fighting it and just let it all bleed together into one long, soft wave of understanding. But that's how they get you. Not with teeth, not with claws. With comfort, with familiarity. With the promise that if you just stop looking too hard, stop questioning, it'll all start to make sense, but it won't. It never will. Because whatever's crawling through the static, whatever's hiding in the fog, it's not here to explain itself. It's here to wear us like a costume. To fill the space where we used to be. And the more we listen, the more we watch, the more we believe. The easier it is to forget there was ever a difference. You ever wonder if maybe some of the people who vanished didn't run or get taken? Maybe they just stopped remembering they were supposed to stay. Maybe they just stepped sideways into the mist and never looked back. After seeing those shapes twisting through the static, I thought maybe the worst had already hit. I mean, how much more can a brain take before it snaps, right? But the fog's not done yet. It's smarter than that. It's not just feeding us fear. Now, it's feeding us memories, twisting them, making them sweeter than they ever really were. I got a call tonight from a woman who sounded way too calm for what's happening. She said she woke up in her living room, only it wasn't her living room anymore. The walls were the same color they were when she was 6. The old scratch in the corner from the time she crashed her tricycle? It was back. The pictures on the wall weren't the ones she hung up last year. They were the ones she remembered from her grandma's house, ones she hadn't seen since before she could even spell her own name right. She said the radio in the corner was playing too. And guess what was on? Me. My voice, clear as day. Except, it wasn't what I was saying now. It was stuff I hadn't even said yet. Memories stitched together from broadcasts that never happened. And outside her window, all fog, no stars, no streets, just the soft hum of something breathing slow and steady just beyond the glass. She said it almost felt peaceful. Almost, until she blinked, and when she looked again, the pictures weren't pictures anymore. They were mirrors, each one showing a slightly different version of herself. Some smiling, some crying, some not moving at all. I didn't know what to tell her. What can you even say to that? I just told her to keep her eyes on something real. Anything real. The floor. The feeling of the chair under her hands. The sound of her own breathing. Anchor herself. Hope it's enough. But deep down, I'm scared it won't be. Because the fog doesn't need to hurt us. It just needs to offer us something sweeter than what we had. Something that feels better than the cold, hard truth we've been clinging to, and when you're tired enough, scared enough, alone enough, the sweet lie's real tempting. Hell, I felt it earlier too. For a second, I could have sworn I smelled my mom's apple pie. Heard the old floorboard by the kitchen door creak the way it used to when she danced while cooking. I almost called out. Almost stepped away from the mic. Almost let the fog tuck me back into a version of my life that never asked me to fight this hard just to stay awake. But I didn't. Not yet. Because even if the lie's sweeter, it's still a lie. And once you choose it, you don't get to come back. You ever wonder how many memories you're already carrying around that aren't yours anymore? Memories whispered into your head while you slept? Memories that slid into your mind through static and fog. Yeah, I wonder too. After that last call, after thinking about all the memories that aren't really ours anymore, I started noticing something, even worse. The walls, they're moving. I know how crazy that sounds, trust me. I wouldn't believe it either if I wasn't sitting here, staring at them right now, feeling them lean closer every time I blink. It's not fast. It's not like the movies where the walls slam shut and you're crushed in a second. It's slow, patient. You don't even notice it at first. You just stand up to stretch your legs and realize the room's a little smaller than you remember. That the corner where you kept the old stack of vinyl records is a few inches closer than it should be. That the doorframe looks narrower, like it's folding in on itself without making a sound. And it's not just the station. Listeners are calling in saying the same thing. One guy said he woke up and his bedroom was half the size it was when he went to sleep. Said his closet door disappeared completely, replaced by another window looking out into the endless white. Another woman said her kitchen counter kept getting closer to the fridge, like the house was breathing slow and deep, exhaling. Her world into something smaller and smaller until there's barely enough room left to stand. And the worst part? They say it feels normal after a while. Like your brain rewires itself to think this tighter, smaller world was always the way it was supposed to be. You stop questioning it. You stop noticing it. You just adjust. You fit yourself into the new shape, because that's what you're built to do. But what happens when there's no space left at all? When the walls finally close? Do you get crushed, or do you just disappear, folded into the fog like a note slipped into a crack in the floorboards. I keep looking over my shoulder, watching the booth shrink inch by inch. Feels like if I turn my back too long, the room's gonna blink and I'll find myself trapped in a closet that wasn't here yesterday. Maybe that's the plan. Squeeze us until we stop noticing, until we stop fighting, until all that's left is a perfect little empty shell they can fill with whatever they want. And the fog will be there, outside the glass, humming real soft, telling you everything's fine, that you were always this small, that you were always supposed to belong to it. You ever feel like the world's trying to fold you into a shape you don't recognize anymore? Yeah, me too. It's not just the walls closing in anymore. Now the fog's knocking. I mean that literally. It started about an hour ago. Soft at first, just this real gentle tapping on the back door of the station. Rhythmic. Calm. Like whoever was out there wasn't in a rush. Like they knew eventually I'd have to answer. I didn't move. Didn't even breathe for a second. Figured it'd go away if I ignored it long enough. But it didn't. The tapping just got a little louder. A little slower. And then the voices started. Not shouting. Not demanding. Just inviting. Telling me to come outside. Telling me it's safe now. That the fog's lifted. That it's warm and bright and full of people I've been missing. Said there's a seat waiting for me. Said the music's already playing, and I almost believed it. Because the voice sounded like my best friend from college. The one who used to drive across the state just to hang out for a weekend. The one I haven't seen in years, not since the accident. It even said the name of the diner we used to meet at. The one that closed down a decade ago. Little details. Little pieces of me that I thought were mine alone. And the voice knew them all. It would have been so easy to open the door. To step into the mist and just stop fighting. But that's the thing. The fog doesn't break you. It seduces you. It offers you everything you've ever wanted to hear. Every memory you wish you could live again. Every regret you wish you could undo. It makes you think it's your idea. Makes you think you're saving yourself. But you're not. You're giving yourself away. Piece by piece. I've been getting reports from listeners all night about the same thing. People opening their front doors to find perfect little tableaus waiting for them. Family gatherings, birthday parties, lost pets wagging their tails on the porch. All wrapped up in the fog. All smiling. All wrong. One guy said he saw his wife standing in the yard, waving him over. Problem is, she's been missing for 2 months. And the thing pretending to be her was still smiling when it started glitching, like a bad VHS tape chewing itself to pieces. He slammed the door, but he said sometimes, late at night, he can still hear her out there. Still calling. Still waiting. I can hear them too. Not just at the door. Now they're whispering through the vents, through the cracks in the windows, through the static of the mic. Telling me it's okay. Telling me it's time to come home. You ever wonder what happens if you say yes? If you stop resisting, if you step outside and let them fold you into whatever the fog wants you to be. After hours of just sitting here, trying not to listen, trying not to think too hard about the knocks and the whispers, I caught a break. Small one. Maybe. It came from one of the rogue frequencies I've been scanning between calls. Most of them are garbage now. Hums, clicks, sometimes a voice too broken to make sense of. But this one, it was different, clearer. It was a map, not a real map, like a street grid or GPS or anything normal. It was more like a pattern, like someone figured out the way the fog moves, where it thickens, where it thins, where it sticks, and where it rolls off like water on glass. They called it the breathing paths. Said, if you move slow enough, stay. Quiet enough, you can feel them. little pockets of safety drifting through the mist. Tiny, invisible corridors that the fog hasn't folded into itself yet. Problem is, they shift. They're not permanent. You have to move when they move, or you'll get swallowed. Fast. And the other thing, the invitations get louder when you're on the right path. They scream at you to stop, to step sideways, to fall back into the mist and forget you ever thought about leaving. They'll use anything. Voices you trust, memories you miss, faces you love. The further you get from the heart of the fog, the harder it fights to keep you. It's not just trying to scare you. It's trying to love you to death. I've been thinking about that while I sit here breathing shallow, counting the seconds between knocks. Because the truth is, I think I've been lucky. This station, it's sitting right on top of a breathing path. It's probably the only reason I'm still here at all, but breathing paths don't last forever, and when this one shifts, when it slips out from under me, there won't be any more waiting. I'll have to move. Fast, or I'll be part of whatever's waiting just outside the door, and I don't think I'll recognize myself if that happens. You ever wonder if the reason people vanish without a sound is because they don't even realize they're gone? Because the fog makes it feel so damn right to step into the wrong place? I don't know exactly when it happened. 1 second I was holding steady, counting my breaths, keeping my mind locked on the sound of my own voice. And the next, I felt it. A shift. Subtle, like the ground underneath the station tilted half a degree, like the breathing path moved on without me. And the fog noticed. It didn't rush, didn't batter the walls or break the windows. It just leaned in, pressed against every crack, every gap, every forgotten keyhole. So quiet you'd think it was just the building settling. But it wasn't. It was the fog finding me. Or, what's inside the fog? I started hearing the steps again, not pacing this time. Closer. Surer. Like whatever was out there knew the waiting part was over. Like it had been given permission to act. Got a call right about then. Scratchy, broken, almost too low to catch. But the voice was clear enough. It wasn't asking for help. It was warning me. Said when they find you, it's not violent. It's worse. They don't tear you apart. They open you up. Slide into the spaces between your memories, your fears, your hopes. They wear you from the inside like a second skin, and you don't even feel it happening until you're already hollow. You're still walking, still breathing, still talking. But you're not you anymore. You're a message. A walking, talking broadcast of whatever the fog needs to say next. That's the real horror. Not being killed. Being repurposed, transformed into a vessel for whatever's waiting beyond the mist. The guy on the call said he watched it happen once. Watched his brother step outside to investigate a broken fence. Watched him walk right into a patch of fog that didn't move like it should have. Watched him stop, shudder, and then straighten up like a puppet on a new string. When his brother turned back to the house, he smiled. Not a real smile. Too wide, too sharp. And when he spoke, it wasn't his voice anymore. It was something else, wearing his throat like a glove. That's why the knocking stopped here. Why the whispers got quiet. They don't have to trick me now. They're inside, waiting for me to slip. Waiting for me to step wrong. Waiting for me to listen. Just a little too long. You ever wonder if maybe the ones still knocking aren't trying to get in? Maybe they're trying to keep you from stepping out. I can feel it now. Not the fog pressing in. Not exactly. It's more like something slipped between the cracks. Like the air inside the station isn't mine anymore. Like every breath I take is borrowed from something I don't understand. I don't even know if this mic's still picking me up properly. I keep talking anyway, just in case. Just to hear my own voice a little longer. To remind myself I'm still here. I'm still me. For now. The lights are flickering again. Shorter bursts this time. The shadows in the corners don't fade when the power cuts out, they just stretch. Like they're getting bolder, like they're almost ready to peel away from the walls and step closer. I'm trying to hold on. But the words, they're starting to slip. Harder to remember what I was saying even 2 minutes ago. Harder to keep the threads of thought from unraveling between sentences. Like the fogs inside my head now, rewriting me in real time. I caught myself humming again earlier. That same little melody that keeps coming back, slipping under the static, like a hook under skin. I bit my tongue hard enough to bleed just to make it stop. Just to anchor myself to something real, even if it hurts. Because if I stop, if I let go, that's it. No more warnings. No more broadcasts. Just another voice in the mist, whispering sweet promises to the next poor soul who stumbles too close to the wrong door. I'm not gonna let that happen. Not yet. The fog's pushing harder now, creeping in around the windows, sliding under the doors, filling the station with that low, syrupy hum that makes your muscles heavy and your thoughts soft. But I'm still here, still talking, still screaming static into a world that's forgetting how to hear it. Maybe you're still out there. Maybe you're not. Maybe the signal's already swallowed up and I'm just a ghost babbling into empty air. Doesn't matter, because even if it's just for one more minute, one more breath, I'll keep broadcasting. I'll keep reminding whatever's listening that I was here, that I fought, that I didn't walk willingly into the arms of something that wanted to wear my memories like a second skin. You ever think about how easy it would be? How simple. One step outside. One deep breath. One smile that isn't really yours. Yeah, me too, but I'm not stepping out. Not tonight. This is my last warning. This is my last stand. Stay loud. Stay broken. Stay human. No matter what the fog promises you, because the second you believe it's safe, it's already too late.